Providence Municipal Court, late afternoon. The gallery is fuller than anyone can remember. Wheelchairs in the aisle, oxygen tanks hissing quietly, family members holding handwritten signs that read 23 in red marker. At the plaintiff's table sits Anthony Morera, 62 years old, retired history teacher from Central High School. His skin has the gray-yellow tint that comes from 4 years on dialysis. He wears the same brown corduroy jacket he wore to every parent-teacher night for 38 years. Next to him, his wife Teresa, 61, married 40 years this spring, grips his hand so hard her knuckles are white. In front of them, a single dialysis filter in a clear evidence bag, the kind that's supposed to be used once and thrown away. Cost to the clinic, $8. Before we go 1 second further, if you've ever watched someone you love hooked to a machine just to stay alive, please hit subscribe and the like button right now. This channel is brand new, and stories like Anthony's deserve to be heard by millions. The bailiff's voice cracks as he reads the case. Civil Action 2024-892. Morera et al. v. New England Renal Associates and Richard Landon. 23 counts of aggravated assault, medical negligence, and reckless endangerment. Anthony stands slowly, knees shaking. He places a photograph on the rail, him and Teresa on their wedding day, both smiling like the future was unbreakable. Your Honor, he begins, voice hoarse from the treatments. 4 years ago, my kidneys failed. 3 times a week, I sit in a chair for 4 hours while a machine cleans my blood. I trusted New England Renal Associates with my life. 18 months ago, they started reusing the filters. 1 filter, 1 patient to the next. $8 saved every time. He pauses, swallows hard. 23 of us now have hepatitis C. 23. Ages 47 to 79. Every single one of us already fighting kidney failure. Hep C attacks the liver. Most of us won't survive 5 more years. My doctor says I have maybe 3. Teresa stands beside him, tears sliding down her cheeks. I'm his caregiver, she says simply. 40 years of marriage. I drive him to dialysis, hold the bucket when he throws up from the meds, fall asleep in the recliner waiting for him to come home. And some man decided $8 was worth more than my husband's life. The gallery is crying openly now. Someone in the back row whispers, 23 people. Anthony lifts the evidence bag. This filter was used on patient 17, then patient 18, then me, patient 19. $8. The treatment for hepatitis C costs $95,000 per patient. That's $2,185,000 for the 23 of us. And that's just the medicine. Not the liver transplants we'll never get because we're already too sick. He sets the filter down like it's radioactive. The owner of the company is coming in today to tell you this was just smart business. That Hep C is treatable now. That insurance will cover it. He's going to show you spreadsheets that say he saved $840,000 in 18 months. Anthony's voice finally breaks. I taught history for 38 years. I taught kids about greed and consequences. Today, I get to watch a man explain why $8 was worth killing 23 grandfathers and grandmothers. Judge Caprio removes his glasses, pinches the bridge of his nose, then looks toward the empty defense table. Mr. Landon hasn't arrived yet, he says quietly. But when he does, he's going to have to look every single one of you in the eye and tell you why $8 mattered more than 23 lives. The back doors open. In walks Richard Landon, 56 years old, founder and owner of 12 dialysis centers across New England. Charcoal Tom Ford suit, $6,200. White pocket square folded into perfect peaks. Patek Philippe Nautilus on his wrist, $138,000. Tan healthy enough to make the patients in the room look ghostly. He doesn't glance at the wheelchairs, doesn't acknowledge the oxygen tanks, just places a $15,000 Goyard briefcase on the table and sits. Judge Caprio stares at him for a long, cold second. "Mr. Landon," the judge says, "you've heard Mr. Moreira? 23 of your patients now have hepatitis C because filters were reused. Your response?" Landon gives a small, practiced smile. "Your Honor, healthcare costs in America are unsustainable. I was trying to make dialysis affordable for everyone." The gallery gasps. Anthony Moreira grips the rail so hard the wood creaks. Affordable. $8. Richard Landon adjusted his Patek Philippe Nautilus, $138,000 on a good day, and stood at the defense table like a man who had never once waited in line for anything. Charcoal Tom Ford suit, bespoke, $6,200. White spread collar shirt with mother-of-pearl buttons, $450. Tie the exact shade of money, knitted silk, $295. Pocket square folded into 3 perfect peaks. Shoes, John Lobb cap-toe Oxfords, hand-lasted in Northampton, England, $2,100. Tan earned on the deck of his yacht in Newport, not from sitting under fluorescent lights 3 times a week. He opened the $15,000 Goyard briefcase, removed a leather-bound folder, and gave the courtroom a small, sympathetic smile. "Your Honor," he began, voice smooth as the single malt in his home bar. "Healthcare in this country is broken. Dialysis costs Medicare $38 billion a year. My centers provide life-saving treatment to over 1,400 patients. We keep doors open that would otherwise close. Sometimes difficult choices must be made to keep care accessible." Anthony Moreira's oxygen hissed louder in the silence. Judge Caprio leaned forward. "Difficult choices like reusing single-use filters." Landon didn't flinch. "The filters in question are rated for multiple sessions in certain European protocols. We followed internal guidelines. The hepatitis C outbreak is regrettable, but modern direct-acting antivirals cure over 95% of cases. Insurance covers the $95,000 per patient. No one will die from Hep C anymore." Teresa Moreira stood up, voice shaking with fury. "My husband already has stage 4 kidney disease. His body can't take another medication. His liver enzymes are through the roof. You gave him a death sentence to save $8 a treatment." Landon turned the page in his folder, calm as a boardroom. "Mrs. Moreira, with respect, your husband receives excellent care. Our cost-saving measures allowed us to keep patient co-pays at $20 a session instead of $200. We saved the system $840,000 in 18 months. That money went back into better equipment, longer hours, more nurses." He clicked a remote. A PowerPoint slide appeared, neat green bars climbing upward. "See? Profit margins in dialysis are razor thin. Without innovation, centers close. Patients travel hours. Some stop treatment altogether. I made dialysis affordable." A low growl moved through the gallery. A woman in a wheelchair whispered, "Affordable for who?" Judge Caprio stared at the slide, then at Landon. "Let me understand something," he said quietly. "You reused filters marked single-use only by the FDA. 23 patients contracted hepatitis C, and your defense is you were being innovative?" Landon spread his hands, reasonable, almost kind. "Innovation is messy, Your Honor. Hep C is treatable now. 20 years ago, it was a death sentence. Medicine moves forward. These patients will get the cure. Insurance pays. In the end, everyone wins." Anthony slammed his fist on the table, weak as it was. "Everyone wins? I have 3 years left because of you. 3. Landon looked at him for the first time, and the smile flickered. Just a hair. If the coldness in this man's voice is making your blood boil right now, smash that like button and subscribe. We're only getting started, and what the judge uncovered next turned $8 into a life sentence. Judge Caprio picked up a thick envelope marked Rhode Island Department of Health, sealed. "Mr. Landon," he said, "before we continue, I have here something you might want to explain. An internal memo dated exactly 18 months ago, from you to all 12 center directors. Subject line: Filter optimization protocol, effective immediately. Your exact words: cease disposal of high-flux dialyzers after one use. Rinse with bleach solution and reuse up to 4 times. Projected annual savings, $560,000. Do not document in patient charts." He held up a second document. "And a purchase agreement, recorded 3 months ago. Richard Landon taking title to a 10,000-square-foot oceanfront home in Watch Hill, Rhode Island. Purchase price, $8.2 million. Paid in cash." The gallery went dead silent. Landon's tan suddenly looked sprayed on. Judge Caprio held the purchase agreement high enough for the entire gallery to see the embossed gold seal. $8.2 million, he repeated slowly. Oceanfront, 6 bedrooms, infinity pool, recorded 3 months ago. Cash. Richard Landon's perfect posture cracked. The Patek slipped down his wrist. Judge Caprio laid the deed next to the memo, side by side. $8 saved per filter. $8.2 million spent on a third home. "Let me understand something," the judge said, voice dropping to that quiet thunder everyone in Providence knows means someone's world is ending. "You told your staff not to document reuse in patient charts. You saved $840,000, and 3 months later you bought a mansion on Watch Hill with exact change." He pressed a button. The screen lit up with photographs. Landon on the deck of the new house, arms spread wide, grinning in front of floor-to-ceiling windows that looked out on the same Atlantic his patients would never see again. The gallery erupted. Someone shouted, "That's our blood money!" Landon tried to speak. "Your Honor, personal finances are..." "Personal," Judge Caprio cut in. 23 people are dying because of decisions you made to buy that view." The doors opened. In walked Jennifer Torres, 34 years old, former charge nurse at the Cranston Center. Cheap black scrubs still carrying faint bleach smell, hands shaking as she took the stand. "I was told if I didn't reuse the filters I'd be fired," she said, voice cracking. "Mr. Landon came in person. Said Medicare cuts were killing the industry. Said Europe does it. Said no one would ever know. I bleached them myself. I cried every time. When Mr. Morera tested positive, I quit the same day." She looked straight at Landon. "You have 3 houses. I have nightmares." Next came Dr. Marcus Chen, infectious disease specialist from Rhode Island Hospital, carrying a stack of charts thicker than a phone book. "Your Honor, every single one of the 23 patients has the identical Hep C genotype, proof of common source outbreak. Their viral loads match the exact timeline of the reuse protocol. These aren't treatable cases without consequences. Combined with end-stage renal disease, 5-year survival drops below 20%. Mr. Landon didn't give them an infection. He gave them death sentences." Landon's lawyer tried to object. Judge Caprio waved him off. "One more thing," the judge said. He dialed the courtroom phone, put it on speaker. "Rhode Island Department of Health, Director's Office. This is Judge Frank Caprio. Put Director Hargrove on." 30 seconds of hold music. Then a voice. "Judge, we've been waiting for your call. Effective 1 hour ago, All 12 New England Renal Associates centers are shut down pending criminal investigation. Mr. Landon's medical license is suspended. Federal charges are being prepared. 23 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. The weapon being the reused filter. Click. Landon stood up slowly, face gray. The Tom Ford suit hung on him like borrowed clothes. Judge Caprio looked at him with pure contempt. In my 37 years on this bench, I have never seen greed this naked. You turned a life-saving treatment into a death machine to buy another view of the ocean. Rules exist to serve people, Mr. Landon. Not to be bleached and reused so you can have a bigger house. He turned to the marshal. Take Mr. Landon into custody, no bail. We'll let the criminal court decide the rest, but this civil judgment starts today. The cuffs came out. Real steel on a $138,000 watch. If your blood is boiling right now, good. Stay with us, because what happened next gave 23 dying people the justice they deserved. The marshal's cuffs snapped shut on Richard Landon's wrists with a sound that echoed like a judge's gavel. The Patek Philippe Nautilus scraped against the steel as his arms were pulled behind his back. Judge Frank Caprio waited for the click to fade, then delivered the verdict the entire gallery had come to hear. Richard Landon, on the 23 civil counts before this court, judgment is entered for the plaintiffs in the amount of $100 million. Every asset of New England Renal Associates, every center, every patent, every offshore account, is seized today and placed into the Rhode Island Dialysis Victims Trust. $100 million will pay for lifetime hepatitis C treatment, liver monitoring, transplants if any of you live long enough, and compensation to every family. Anthony Morera sagged against Teresa, sobbing without shame. Landon tried one last time. Your Honor, 20 years. 20 years, Judge Caprio finished for him. That's exactly what you're getting. This court recommends to the criminal division the maximum sentence on each of the 23 counts of aggravated assault. 20 years per count, consecutive. No parole, no early release. You will die in prison, Mr. Landon, the same slow death you gave these people. The gallery exploded. Wheelchairs rolled forward. Oxygen tanks hissed like applause. Someone shouted, "Thank you, Judge!" over and over until it became a chant. Judge Caprio let it run for 10 full seconds, then raised one hand. Silence fell. Compassion is not an exception to justice, he said quietly. It is the purpose. You forgot that. These 23 people never will. 18 months later, the 12 dialysis centers are gone. In their place, state-of-the-art nonprofit clinics run by the Victims Trust. Filters are used once, then photographed, logged, and destroyed on camera. Every patient gets a private room, a social worker, and a guarantee. No one will ever save $8 on their blood again. The Rhode Island Dialysis Victims Trust now holds $112 million after asset liquidation. Every patient receives $4.3 million on average. Anthony and Teresa bought a small house with no stairs and a garden where he can sit when he's strong enough. The rest of their money created the Anthony Morera Teacher Scholarship, full rides for low-income kids who want to teach history. Richard Landon, inmate Strata 241, lives in maximum security at the adult correctional institutions. Cell 3B19, top bunk, orange jumpsuit, no Tom Ford, no ocean view. The Nautilus was auctioned for $132,000 and paid for one patient's experimental liver therapy. Because of this case, Congress passed the Dialysis Safety Act 6 months later. Single-use filters are now federally mandated, criminal penalties for reuse, and every center must post a live camera feed of their waste disposal room. 28 states have already adopted the Rhode Island model. The 23 patients still alive meet every Tuesday night in the community room of the old Cranston Center, now a support group. They drink coffee, share lab results, and tell stories about the teacher who taught them that history isn't just what's in books. It's what happens when one man decides $8 is worth more than 23 lives, and one judge reminds the world it isn't. If this story broke your heart, and then put it back together stronger, if you believe no one should ever profit from someone else's blood, then do 3 things right now. Hit that subscribe button. We're a brand new channel fighting for patients, for teachers, for the 23 who never asked to be heroes. Like this video so the algorithm shows it to every person who still thinks healthcare is just another business. And comment below with your city and the word Marrera. Let's flood the comments and show the world we stand with Anthony, with Teresa, with every single one of the 23. Because as long as judges like Frank Caprio sit on the bench and people like Anthony Marrera keep teaching, even when they're fighting for every breath, greed doesn't get the last word. Justice does. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.